Welcome to Gishath Park. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got Temple of Abandoned, Sacred Foundry, Chromatic Lantern. Yeah, do we want to keep on this one? Skull Rat could, yeah, let's go on Mulligan. We'd have to get pretty lucky running into a few more lands. And yes, we'll keep on this one. Want to see, we got two pieces of ramp. We've got Bonded Horncrest, Swords of Plowshare. Yes, we will keep on this one. And since we're playing against Estrid, I think we still want to hold on to Swords to Plowshare. So let's just go and put Bonded Horncrest on the bottom for right now. And click OK, and our opponent's going to get the game off. But yes, welcome to Gishath Park. Hope you're excited to ride around the Jeep and hopefully not have Gishath bite one of your arms or your legs. So we're playing Gishath, Sun's Avatar, Trample, Vigilance, and Haste. And let's go and lead off with... I doubt we're going to go Swords to Plowshare. We might. We're just going to leave up Plateau. Why not? And then pass the turn. So, Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. Whenever Gishath deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Put any number of dinosaur creature cards from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Playing against Estrid the Masked. +2, untap each enchanted permanent you control. Then for a -1, create a white aura enchantment token, a mask attached to another permanent. That token has enchant permanent and totem armor. Then for the -7, which I will cover in just a second, it's just like, whoa, word vomit. Let's go Forest, and while our opponent is tapped out for Nature's Lore, I do look at this. We've got two pieces of mono white removal. I love it. We've got a lot of green-white in the hand, so let's grab Sheltered Thicket. Because once we get down Talisman, that'll put us on Swords to Plowshare and Path to Exile, and then also go for Mirari's Wake, should be really good. So, but yeah, so the -7 off of Estrid, put the top 7 cards of your library into your graveyard, return all non-aura enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, then do the same for aura cards. And if you're still keeping score at home, Estrid can be your commander. So let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to build your very own dinosaur park, head on over to MTGOTraders. It's nothing like Jurassic Park to where you might get sued if something happens to your park. No, nothing like that, because you can build your own dinosaur park and not have to worry about it. Do anything to people out there. So let's go for Talisman, other than just people at your local gaming store, which they're going to be thrilled either way. So we're going to have Talisman enter the battlefield. And I think we just straight up just play Scattered Groves. And then pass the turn back over to our opponent. But yes, check out MTGOTraders. If you want to check out my merch booth, I do have a merch booth set up over at inkgaming.com. You can use coupon code JOLT. If you want to get 10% off your order, you can just actually type in JOLT539 to see my playmats and my t-shirts. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to contribute to my Patreon, there's a link down in the description below. Get your name at the beginning or the ending of the credits. So now it is officially free time. Let's have some fun. Now we are looking at potentially counter mana magic right now. We've got 3 mana open. I still think I kind of like going for Mirari's Wake, because it's kind of the only play we can go for right now. And we could hold on to it, but if this sticks, this is okay. There we go. About to say it does stick. So this is really going to allow us to kind of bust this wide open. So at this point, we've gone from simply just having 4 mana to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 8 total mana now. We can actually go for Goring Ceratops. So once we have Goring Ceratops enters the battlefield, it's going to give our creatures whenever it attacks, it's going to give them double strike. So if you've never had a Gishath have double strike, it's the best feelings in the world. Feels really good. So we're definitely going to try to go for that. But yeah, it's been a while since we played Zakama. As far as Kefnet's last... Oh, no, they stole our Mirari's Wake. Okay. That's not good. So they gain control of that. Alright, so let's see what we got going on. Carnage Tyrant. And I guess at this point, we can't get any creatures down. I kind of like getting rid of swords on Herald. That way they just have no reduced cost on what they've got going on. I think that's a pretty good option. So let's go Swords to Plowshare on Herald of the Pantheon. And then we're going to keep our fingers crossed for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, for one more land. That way we can go for Carnage Tyrant. And then we'll go and pass the turn. But yeah, Mirari's Wake with an Estrid in a Estrid deck doesn't really... doesn't sound that fun. To be honest, probably not in store for some pretty bad stuff. Ooh, there we go, Guardian Project. That'll help us get some sort of card advantage going. So, 1, 2, 3, and that still leaves up Path to Exile, and then we're going to go and pass the turn. But yeah, as far as changes to the deck, I did add some Enter the Battlefield effects. One of those is Guardian Project. This deck in the past had previously suffered from having some sort of card advantage, whether that was card draw or just simply having creatures enter the battlefield. You know, the core concept of this deck, this is a Naya dinosaur deck, so being able to have something like Guardian Project down, just getting a lot of dinosaurs down turn after turn, it is nice to get a lot with Gishath, but the way the game plays out, if you don't have some sort of answer or some sort of immediate threat to swinging with Gishath, you just want to be able to ramp and get a ton of dinosaurs on the battlefield. So Guardian Project definitely kind of helps us kind of filter through some of these clunky hands. And our opponent goes for Rune of Protection. So white activation, next time a white source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. So with it being tapped on white mana, that is good, because we need to stop that. So it's not going to be that great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we're still stuck on 5 mana. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. So unfortunately, getting a little bit clunky on lands. I don't know why I've got cultivates. We've got a ton of different ways that we can ramp in here. But when I've gone to record, we've kind of run into a little bit of a dinosaur problem trying to get some lands. So we'll try to make this work. But yeah, outside of that, just kind of added some into the battlefield effects. We did add some new dinosaurs in here. Oh, there we go. Cultivate. That's exactly what we needed. So let's go for Thank you, Magic Gods. Let's go Cultivate. And I think at this point, we probably want to grab a mountain. That's going to be pretty good. Let's grab a mountain, and then we're going to grab one more white sword. Actually, we'll probably just split this one down the middle, grab double mountains. No, actually, we'll go and grab a plains, because we do have a lot of white in the hand. So let's go ahead and put mountain on the battlefield. Let's put plains into our hand, and I think Path to Exile on... Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty good. Because that's going to be a pretty good threat. Because even if we don't get a creature down, none of our stuff has reach, so we really want to deal with this creature. That gives them an extra land, but since they don't really have a good card draw source at this point right now, they've only got 3 cards in the hand. I feel pretty good about this. So now that we hit Cultivate, that really opened us up on mana. We can swing in with Gishath. The only downside is that Gishath is going to definitely be a huge target for that Rune of Protection. So if they tap down on all their white sources, we'll be good to go. If not, we'll probably be going for Carnage Tyrant. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can definitely go for Carnage Tyrant. And probably just as quickly as possible, try to go for that Revelation. We do have a pretty nice little combat, you know, kind of build in our hand. We've got Goring Ceratops. So even if we can't go for Gishath, you know, this is what I'm talking about. You know, if we're trying to go for Gishath, our opponent, we get hit with a Rune of Protection. And so, oh, but with Elspeth on the battlefield, ooh, that's not going to be good. I'm going to go for the -3. And, okay. So we've got our work cut out for us right now, especially with Elspeth on the battlefield, because they can just keep going for the -3, destroy all the creatures, and keep getting those soldier tokens on the battlefield. So let's see what we draw into for the turn. Alpha. That's going to give us a 3/3 dinosaur. And I guess at this point, we just go for Alpha. And my main reason for going for Alpha is that we're trying to have Alpha enter the battlefield. We're going to be able to get for that Guardian Project trigger. But if we're going to try to set up a Revelation where we can just draw into some pretty good cards, I think that's... Ooh, Wrath of God. Okay. That'll help us up for Gishath, potentially. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. So let's go ahead and swing in... Yeah, let's go swinging at Elspeth. That's going to make Elspeth potentially put it all the way down to 2 loyalty. We'll see how they want to block. You know, they're going to have to throw 2 soldier tokens in front of this one. Or if we can slowly just kind of keep whittling away at these soldier tokens, that'll be a good option for us. So once we get past that, we kind of want to set up a turn to where we can maybe swing in with Gishath and get a ton of damage. We do have Dinosaur Stampede that will allow us to kind of have a really explosive turn. But pretty much at this point, the bottleneck is us trying to deal with Elspeth over there. It's going to be a very hard thing for us to deal with. So let's see what our opponent does for the turn, and we'll kind of re-rack on what we can do. And opponent's going to go for Aura of Silence. So artifact enchantment spells cost 2 more to cast, and that's going to destroy target artifact in your enchantment. So if they want to hit Talisman, that does hurt us a little bit. But oh, they're going to go for the -3. So that's going to get rid of Alpha. Untap each enchanted permanent you control. So at this point, if we end up just swinging across with Gishath, we could give it haste. And the Dinosaur Stampede, yeah, we'll basically have to wait with Carnage Tyrant. Because now that they've kind of used that Elspeth -3, we'll definitely want to try to get some sort of threat on the battlefield. That way we can kind of dodge that +1 and then hopefully use that Stampede to get rid of Elspeth. So I'll see what we draw into for the turn. Drawing to Bellowing. I love that. This is one of, and actually, I'll kind of explain that here in a second. Yeah, I think we just go Carnage Tyrant. It's going to have Trample and Hexproof. That's going to force them to go for tokens next turn that we can swing across. And we could try to go for Goring Ceratops. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But unfortunately, Carnage Tyrant is not going to have haste to do that. So, yeah, I think I kind of like going Carnage Tyrant. That just gives us a really good option. It's going to be hard for them to deal with it, even if they have some sort of spot removal they're sitting on. There we go. Tap down for one more. So we're going to have Carnage Tyrant enter the battlefield. Let's go for this Guardian Project trigger. Be able to cash in an additional card draw. And hopefully, okay, they're going to destroy the Talisman. Yeah, that's fine. Go for it. So we're going to have Carnage Tyrant enter the battlefield. Let's see what we've drawn. Drawn to Kodama's Reach. Okay, that's actually pretty good. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. So Kodama's Reach is going to definitely allow us to kind of bounce back from that Talisman of Unity. And now at this point, we just need to set up a turn to where we can get enough dinosaurs on the battlefield to deal a pretty good chunk of damage. They've got these Rune of Protections, which just makes me feel like we're playing super old school Magic with these, but you can see where, it's just completely shutting down a Gishath deck, being able to go for 1 white mana activation and just basically just kind of fog that one out. So they're going to get to the Elspeth, put the top 7 cards, return all aura. So that's going to be corrupt. So they went for that. They're going to be able to bring back a bunch of stuff out of the graveyard. They brought back Corrupted Conscience, which is going to give Carnage Tyrant. Gosh. So the funny thing about me going back and doing these old decks is that, some of these decks I haven't played in a long time. I'm, adjusting them. Like, all right, these sound good. And then you just run into these clunky matches to where, like, you get that Rune of Protection white, and then you just get hit with the Corrupted Conscience. Even if we were trying to keep up with Estrid, and we're still at this weird bottleneck. So, a good game to our opponent. It's probably going to be a good game. Now, we do have Wrath of God. Excuse me. We can bounce back from that. No, it's not a good game. Sometimes you get to this point to where you're just like, you get frustrated with a commander deck, and you're like, okay, good game. I want to give up. But no, we're not doing that. We've got Wrath of God. We can pop everybody. That'll get rid of Carnage Tyrant. That's not going to be infect for us. Can we? Yeah, we can actually Wrath of God and go for Kodama's Reach. So we're going to do that. That'll give us something to kind of look forward to. So let's see what we draw into for the turn. Heroic Intervention. Let's go for Kodama's Reach. I think this will be our last 2 basics. Let's grab Mountain. Let's grab Forest. Let's have Mountain enter the battlefield. Forest is going to go into our hand. Let's go for Wrath of God. That's going to get rid of all the soldier tokens. And that's going to get rid of also Carnage Tyrant, so we can get rid of that infect. That would not be good. Last thing we're going to do is get down Carnage Tyrant and have that happen. So anything else, no, we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to put us at 8 total mana. Once again, if they don't leave white mana up, we'll definitely go for Gishath. But if they do, then we're going to have to do that same thing again where we just kind of rebuild. That's one of the downsides about playing Naya Gishath ramp dinosaurs, is that you've got a lot of these dinosaurs that are kind of high impact in the 5, 6, 7 range. So, it works out perfectly if you're kind of curving out, but just like a dinosaur, there's the good ones are at the top of the curve. And so you've got a little bit of a top heavy curve sometime, which is not a ton of fun. What we can do, we can Heroic Intervention to give him hexproof. And we can still end up going for Bellowing, which will still kind of keep... Yeah, let's do that, because we can get a few creatures on the battlefield. So let's go for Talisman. We're going to have Talisman enter the battlefield. They're going to cost 2 more. Oh, yeah, it's going to cost 2 more because of Aura. So we'll probably just pass on that now that I forgot about that with the Aura out there. Let's go for Bellowing. Actually, we'll go for Goring Ceratops. That'll be a good option. We get that down. That'll kind of keep us open as far as us potentially needing to go for... kind of setting up really good dinosaur board state. With us drawing into Heroic Intervention, that does help us to where if we do try to build this board state up, we can go for Bellowing and we can go for Gishath. We get into a point to where we can give our creatures into... Oh, and there we go, run into Boros Charm. So that's going to be a pretty good option for us. So we have Boros Charm. That's going to protect us from Elspeth. We're going to have Heroic Intervention. That's going to protect us from Elspeth. The only downside is we're just looking at another Estrid activation, which is... Oof, going to be pretty brutal. So let's see what they end up doing for the turn. Okay, so our opponent goes for the -7. They end up hitting Propaganda, and we're going to have to pay 2 for that. It's Corrupted Conscience on Goring Ceratops. There's Take Possession of our Plateau. With Oros, oh man, this is the Dinosaur Park. It feels like we're sinking into the ocean. Like it's like the most recent Jurassic Park where the whole island got blown, or not blown up, but whatever. This poor dinosaurs, poor Gishath. He just wanted to have some fun today. But we'll see what we draw into. But I think we've gotten to the point now, or at least when I say we, I mean me with this deck, to where we're gonna have to probably call it quits after this one. So let's see what we run into. But if we don't run into something super good, then I think this will be it for the Gishath Park for today. Okay, that's going to put us down to 17, and we run into Avacyn's Pilgrim. Yep, we're going to scoop this one up. We could try to grind this one out, but at this point, with us having a lot of clunky stuff in the hand, and with our opponent going for that Rune of Protection, hey, that shut down Gishath. There's some times where we probably could have swung in and got some good triggers going, but that would have stopped us from happening. So, if I do end up posting this video, I do apologize. Some of these clunky games. I'm trying to go back and rework some of these older games, and once I get to a point to where I spend like 45 minutes to an hour trying to record a game, I basically need to release that footage because I'm limited in the amount of time that I can record. So, if you do end up seeing this video, I do apologize. Hopefully, next time we get a little bit of a better Gishath video, but if you still enjoyed the slog through Gishath Park, even though you got your arm chewed off, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Gishath Park. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got 3 lands. We have Chromatic Lantern. We've got 2 dinosaurs. Yes, we will definitely keep on this one. And we're playing against Tribal Kai, which I just said howdy to Tribal Kai, and they go, uh-oh, not Gishath. So, I'll be honest. I'll probably feel the exact same way about Lord Windgrace. And so we've got 2 green-red base commanders, splashing a little different colored. 2 nice little powerhouses. See how this game plays out. And yeah, hopefully let's have some fun. But yes, be sure to check out Tribal Kai's channel. It's the EDH channel. He records in the lounge with us. Awesome guy. And as far as what we're going to lead off with, I guess we just lead off with winds. Yeah, we're just going to lead off with Marsh Flats. That way kind of keeps us open. Don't think we're going to go for a Worldly Tutor just yet. We could go for a Mana Dork. Yeah, I think I kind of like that now that I think about it. So let's go and crack Marsh Flats. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves a Savannah. Have that enter the battlefield. Let's go for Worldly Tutor. And at this point, we just want to ramp. This is basically, at the core concept, this is a ramp deck. So we're going to grab Birds of Paradise, put that on top, and then pass turn over to opponent. We're playing Gishath, Sun's Avatar. So if you're going to be roaming around Gishath Park today, make sure you keep your all arms and legs inside of those crude jeeps today, because Gishath will certainly, he'll try to take a bite if he can. Not that that wouldn't be too bad, but we just don't really have any insurance here at the Gishath Park, so if you have an insurance claim, then there's just really not much we can do for you. So we're going to have Birds of Paradise into the battlefield. Let's go for Windswept Teeth, and then anything else. We're going to go. It's the Magic Universe. We don't have to keep insurance. So whenever Vigilance, Trample, and Haste, whenever Gishath deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Put any number of dinosaur cards from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Playing against Lord Windgrace. +2, excuse me, discard a card. And we're going to be on for Chromatic Lantern. Let's just go ahead and grab our base right now. So let's get this popped out. Let's go ahead and grab Sheltered Thicket. That way it's going to go ahead and come into play tap. We don't have to worry about drawing into that later. And that'll put us on Chromatic Lantern. And then Kanjali Sunwing will certainly help, not depending on what sort of build our opponent has. It'll certainly kind of keep them down if they're getting any sort of creatures. So let's go for Chromatic Lantern. And we'll have Misty enter the battlefield, then anything else. This is just going to be 2. We'll go and pass turn our opponent. So, +2, discard a card, then draw a card. If a land card is discarded this way, draw an additional card. Then for a -3, return up to 2 target land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then for a -11, if you're still keeping score at home, destroy up to 6 target non-land permanents, and then create 6 2/2 Green Cat Warrior creature tokens with Force Walk. And opponent's going to get Oracle onto the battlefield. And I think I'm going to be doing a little bit of a spoiler for the rest of the week. I think Tribal and I, we're about to record a lounge in a few hours after this game. So there you go. Yeah, just now popped in my head. I was like, oh yeah, I need to get my lounge deck ready. So if you want to just maybe get excited for a lounge coming this Friday, you might want to do that. So We still have Misty. Opponent does have Wasteland up. They can blast. Ooh, Zakama. I like it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're looking at 6 total right now. I think I kind of like just going charging Monster Sword. That's going to be a 5/5. We're a little far away from actually going for Gishath or Zakama, so let's just kind of get the damage going. I think that sounds like a good plan. So we're going to go and crack Chromatic Lantern, or not crack it, but tap it. 1, 2, 3. And we'll tap down Birds of Paradise. So we're going to have Charging Monster Sword enter the battlefield. It's going to have Trample and Haste, so it's definitely going to be able to push past that Oracle over there. And that's going to leave a Golgari Signet on top of their library. So let's go and swing in with the Charging Monster Sword. And if you haven't seen Gishath, this is one of those decks that you definitely want to set up a really nice Gishath. You know, that's one of the things you want to do. You know, if you swing in with Gishath, you get that trigger, you get a lot of dinosaurs on the battlefield. But if you're going to be building this deck, you definitely want to build it in a way to where it's basically just a Naya ramp deck, to where you're going to be able to get a ton of mana on the battlefield, and you're going to be pretty much open for whatever you want to do. And, you know, you just simply you know, you've got these big threats like Zakama you want to drop onto the battlefield for free, but then there's some times where you can just basically just hard cast it. You get to the point to where you can hard cast it. You know, your commander does cost 8, so you can get past that commander tag. So either way, it's a very fun commander, but I highly recommend building it in a Naya ramp style deck. So our opponent's going to go for Vampiric Tutor. We'll go and let them kind of decide what they're going to grab, and then we'll jump into commentary on their turn. Oh, excuse me. So they straight up just go for a command tower. So that's one of the nice things about having oracles. Normally, Vampiric Tutor doesn't reveal, but we get to see what's on top thanks to that command tower. So things aren't going. You know, if they're going to burn a Vampiric Tutor on a command tower, I feel pretty good about this. We're going to keep our fingers crossed that we can keep running into lands. Like I mentioned, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we can just get to that 7, 8, that's what really kind of set this deck to where we can pretty much cast anything out of our hand. Now, we did make a few changes to the deck. I kind of smoothed the curve out a little bit. It was a little bit top heavy and a little bit clunky. I did add a few more kind of enter the battlefield effects that kind of help us with card advantage. Ooh, prime time. All right. So prime time. This is Commander, what we're playing, but actually what Tribal and I record in is the 1 versus 1 Magic Online format. So for some reason, most of the ban list is the same, except prime time is unbanned. Which, if you're going to have primetime unbanned, why would you, in a 1 versus 1 format? I'm not really, I don't get that decision making, but it's legal in 1 versus 1, and Paradox Engine is still not banned in 1 versus 1 Commander. So, you know, if it was bad enough for multiplayer, I figured Paradox Engine in 1 versus 1 would definitely warrant a banning. But anyway, honestly, I don't know if there's anybody in charge of 1 versus 1 at this point right now. So, if you want to play the Wild Wild West of Commander, head on over to MTGO. Have a lot of fun that way. Opponent goes for prime time. They're going to grab Field of the Dead. So we're going to get some, looking at some zombies sometime pretty soon. So we definitely want to kind of keep that in mind. And did our opponent, no, excuse me. Okay, they had Glacial Chasm enter the battlefield, and then they sacrificed Wasteland. Okay, I got worried that they popped Wasteland while I was recording that. I was like, oh no, that's not good. So give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to play the Wild Wild West Commander, hey, here you go. Let's also give a quick shout out to ingaming.com. If you want to check out my merch booth, head on over there, type in Jolt539 in the search bar. You can check out some of my cool merch, some playmats, some t-shirts, and last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to contribute to the Patreon, there's a link down in the description below. Get your name at the beginning or the ending of the credits. And if you can't do that, hey, no problem. Just tell somebody about the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. So let's go and grab a white sword. So we're going to grab Temple Garden. We're going to have that come into play tapped. And once again, we're hoping we run into some sort of card advantage, or at least just kind of hit another land. That way we can end up going for Gishath. So let's see what we run into. The only downside, Urza's Incubator. That is a wonderful reducer for what we're trying to do. So let's go for Urza's Incubator. We're going to name Dinosaur off this one. 100% Dinosaur. Could name Bird if we wanted to, but I don't think we'll want to do that. So that's going to be Kanjali for just 1 green mana. 1 white mana. That'll be good. So that's going to be 2/3 flyer. And then next turn, we're looking at going for Zakama, even Gishath, I think. So yeah, let's just go and pass the turn. We will leave up Charging Monster Sword. That way, if they do want to swing in with Prime Time, we can at least stop that. But at this point right now, I kind of like this spread. So we got a 2 mana reduced cost with Urza's Incubator, making our dinosaurs cost 2 less. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're exactly just enough mana for Gishath. Now, if we can run into another land that does put us at 9 for Zakama, with Zakama entering the battlefield, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think if we rip into a land next turn, I think if I'm correct, well, that'll still give us just enough to, well, actually, we may not have enough to untap our, we'll see. May not have just enough to untap both, but at the very least, we're going to be able to go for Gishath and have that enter the battlefield and hopefully get lucky with some dinosaurs. So, and that's what makes this deck kind of fun. I did add Guardian Project to the deck to kind of tighten it up, add a little bit more kind of value from creatures entering the battlefield. We did add Path of Discovery to the deck, also add a little bit of card draw, Shaman Revelation, and then Faithless Looting, different things like that. And as far as any other additions that we've made to the deck, I don't think it's still pretty that same core concept. We are looking at about, I think we're running 32 creatures in here, with a few of those being like mana dorks. We've got Lano War Elves, Birds of Paradise, Avacyn's Pilgrim. So outside of that, we're running about 30 dinosaurs. So we'll just kind of see how these shot triggers flip. You know, you can increase the number of dinosaurs past, you know, like 30 something or 29. But once you do that, it's just kind of a little clunky sometimes. And so we do have some other ways that we can kind of set up the top part of our library if we want to. But at this point, we kind of, I feel like 24, 25, 26 is a good number for your dinosaur count. Because like I mentioned earlier, you know, it's nice to go full throttle Gishath, but at the same time, if you don't, you know, if you get down Gishath and you don't have the necessary ramp support pieces, with you having the ramp, it really just kind of turns into a Naya Dinosaur ramp deck, and then you can just use Gishath as your finisher. So kind of works out really well. So opponent's going to swing in with Prime Time. We can block with Charging Monstrosaur and Kanjali Sunwing. That'll definitely get rid of Prime Time and kind of stop the shenanigans over here. You know what? I think we might do that. Because Charging Monstrosaur, we could try to swing in at lower Windgrace, but yeah, I kind of like this option. We're going to at least end up with one more creature on the battlefield. We're just looking at a 6/6 with Trample. Really want to stop those enter the battlefield effects or those land effects. Because those once these zombies kind of get going, as much as we have a ton of dinosaurs, you get enough zombies on the battlefield, it's hard for T-Rex to eat them all. So it's not going to be too good. Now, there is Eternal Witness on top of their library, so if they want to, they can go potentially Eternal Witness. I don't know if they have enough green mana to do that, actually. Lotus Field, that'll be some green. Yeah, they could do that. So they could potentially go for Eternal Witness and Prime Time. So we'll see what kind of line they want to end up going for. But if we don't run into the lane, we'll definitely be going for Gishath. And look at Field of the Dead. This is a wonderful commander card. This goes good in a lot of decks. And if you really think about it, man, there's just so many times that you're going to have you know, just different land. You can slot it into any deck and just basically get some free little zombies. So, but the good thing about us having Kanjali Sunwing down is going to make all these zombies, you know, the battlefield tap. So let's see what we run into. Running to Marauding Raptor. So at this point, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're basically just going to go ahead and have to cast a Gishath straight up because that's going to be all of our mana. Yeah, that's going to be exactly. I wish we could go for Marauding Raptor first, but we need to get this done. So let's have Gishath enter the battlefield. We will definitely be able to swing in some damage at our opponent. And hopefully, if the Magic Gods are watching, if the Magic Gods like dinosaurs over zombies, the new sci-fi movie, we can end up with some good dinosaurs on the battlefield. So let's go and swing in at our opponent. We're going to have Kanjali Sunwing. Actually, yeah, we'll go and swing in because we need to get as much damage in as possible. So we're going to swing in with Gishath. We've got Kanjali swinging in. That's the only downside is once these zombies untap, it's going to be a lot of zombies. It's going to be really hard for these dinosaurs to push past it. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that we run into a really good Gishath trigger off this one. So we're going to swing in. That's going to be 9 coming across. Oh, excuse me. Glacial Chasm. Completely forgot about that. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to you. Okay. Never mind. All right, anything else? We're going to go and pass turn. Yeah, I completely forgot that was out there. So we're not going to get the Gishath trigger. Creatures you control can attack. And then they're going to be able to prevent all that damage. Which is a little bit of a bummer. Okay. We'll see what we can... Yeah, I just completely forgot about that trigger. So, I don't think... And actually... I'm not sure if we have any wasteland stuff in here, so we'll see what we can do about that. If we don't, we might have to scoop that one up, because that Glacial Chasm, that's not going to be too good for us. So let's see what our opponent does for the turn. Okay, so they're going to go for Eternal Witness and probably bringing back Primetime. Let's see what they know. Oh, excuse me, they're just going to grab a straight up Swamp. And okay, so we once again we can't attack with that Glacial Chasm out there. So Raging Sword Tooth does 1 damage to each other creature. With Zakama, it's going to be 7 total mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're still 1 away. I guess technically we can go for Marauding Raptor. This is going to be 1 red mana. Now, we do have Raging Swordtooth we could go for, so I think at this point what we'll probably end up doing is just holding on to Raging Swordtooth because that'll be a source of damage. And then once we have Zakama enter the battlefield, we might be able to try to clean up some of this mess. But with Glacial Chasm still on the battlefield, we'll probably just end up just passing the turn because there's really not much else we can do about that. So let our opponent kind of do their turn, and I'll jump in any sort of commentary they go for. Okay, so we run into Stomping Ground, but our opponent's basically going to be able to keep bringing back Glacial Chasm, so it's just going to be really hard for us to fight through this. I know what we have in the deck. We could even go for Zakama, deal 3 damage to target artifact or creature. We can start trying to clean some of these creatures up, but for the most part, with this Glacial Chasm, we just don't have an answer for it. So I think I'm going to go and scoop this one up and give a good game to our opponent. And then, yeah, to be honest, even if they do end up sacrificing a Glacial Chasm, what ended up happening is they're eventually going to build up enough zombies to where they can push past our dinosaur board state. So we could try to wait for Wrath of God, but once again, the bottleneck is going to be Glacial Chasm. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.